Good afternoon. At least mostly good, right? It's a frustrating time for you and for me. Some of you know I'm a runner, and I got up normally this morning at 7 and I took off on my 4-mile run, and it was deathly quiet. There are no school buses running, no one driving to school. In fact, you could run right down the middle of the street and not be threatened by a car coming in your direction. So we miss you on campus. Our mission is about you, about delivering exceptional life outcomes for both undergraduate and graduate students. I also empathize with you about graduation. I know many of you are frustrated by that because we cannot hold a physical graduation on May the 2nd. That does not mean that we won't hold graduation. We are going to, but we need to think about what that graduation might look like. We've drafted a place for you to make suggestions, and I will have a Zoom meeting with a number of senior students to let them give their thoughts about what they would like to see in graduation. But be assured, there will be a graduation for sure. One of the most interesting things for me is that in times of challenge throughout history, people have always stepped up and stepped forward to lead. Our faculty and staff have been doing that in the last couple of weeks because they have a passion for serving you. You've also stepped up in your willingness to experience education in a new form. You know, as I thought about our current challenge, I thought some of the people that might be most difficulty in our culture is music people, artists, people that depend on an audience to attend, to come to them, to see what they're doing and enjoy their performance. But it's been fascinating to watch those communities adapt to this time. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but if you hadn't, you should try. There's a group in Nashville made up of background singers, I think, who decided to sing "It Is Well With My Soul" through the use of their cell phones, and then to blend those voices in a format that everyone could hear and enjoy. And that was shared with me last night, and I don't think I've enjoyed anything more during this time away than that particular performance. The Organ Symphony, who again, how would you do a symphony piece in this environment? Well, you can't probably get everyone together, but what they've done is they've been extending minutes where some of their best performers are performing pieces for just short periods of time that you can subscribe to make your day better. And those have been exciting as well. So on one level, everyone faces the challenge, but it's really how you respond to the challenge that becomes the most significant thing. And you know, it's true of the biblical text as well. One of my favorite stories in the Bible is the story of David and Goliath. And of course, you know, David's a young man. He's out tending sheep. And the army of the Israelites under Saul are faced with the Philistines. And the Philistines have this very large warrior who has frightened everyone. And it's this young boy who comes to save Israel and to confront the giant. And this story comes from 1 Samuel 17. And in that passage, David comes to Saul, the king, and he says, don't worry about this Philistine. Saul, I'll go fight him. And Saul responded by saying, don't be ridiculous. There's no way you can fight this Philistine and possibly win. You're only a boy, and he's been a man of war since his youth. But David persisted, the Bible says. I've been taking care of my father's sheep and goats, he said. When a lion or a bear comes to steal a lamb from the flock, I go after it with a club, and I rescue the lamb from its mouth. If the animal turns on me, I catch it by the jaw, and I club it to death. I've done this to both lions and bears, and I'll do it to this pagan Philistine too, for he has defied the armies of the living God. The Lord who rescued me from the claws of the lion and the bear will rescue me from this Philistine. The Bible says, finally Saul said, go ahead, and may the Lord be with you. So then Saul gave David his armor, a bronze helmet, and a coat of mail. David put it on, strapped a sword over it, and took a step or two to see what it was like, for he had never worn such things before. I can't go in these, he protested to Saul. I'm not used to them. So David took them off. He picked up 5 smooth stones from a stream, and he put them into his shepherd's bag. Then, armed with only his shepherd's staff and a sling, he started across the valley to fight the Philistine. And as you know, with those 5 stones in a sling, he brought the giant down. A totally unexpected and brave response to a situation that no one had a solution for. You know, as I thought about our current situation, a lot of you have been responding to the virus in really powerful ways. And I just wanted to briefly share one of our graduates. He's a man named Ben Sand. He runs an organization called the Contingent in Portland. And his organization, in the name of Christ, just serves people all throughout Oregon and Washington. And this past week, one of the groups that's been most challenged has been the foster care community. So Ben's organization, the Contingent, was asked if they could help respond and help this community in a dire time. And they did, and they stepped up. And I just wanted to share with you his update from yesterday. I just spent 2 hours calling foster families and kids in care in Columbia County. At 4:25 p.m., our team decided that it was not okay to have families go into the weekend with an emergency need of food and basic supplies. So we decided to call every single Oregonian whose basic need had not yet been met, express our gratitude to each of them, and ask permission to send them a $100 gift card. These gift cards were paid by some of you, and then a whole bunch of people we will never know. We've seen people give $5 or $500 over the last few days, and we're spending every penny on meeting these emergency needs in Oregon. And then he finished this way. He said, look, tonight I had a chance to sit for 10 minutes on the phone with a weeping foster mother who was on the brink. She needed diapers, and she didn't know how to get them. I helped her find them that evening. That's why we're doing this, he said, because God's called us to help people all the time, but particularly in this time. So whether you're Ben Sand and the Contingent, our faculty and staff that has stepped up, or you in your home that are taking on new challenges in very different ways, always remember that God goes ahead of you. As we said last week, be strong and courageous, for I will be with you just as I was with Moses. And so for the Christian, we can be assured that even in a time like this, God goes ahead of us. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope your learning is going well.